When I was at Bellagio, I worked on a book about public health in New York City in the Bloomberg administration. And I did it because I think that approaches in public health are under-recognized, even though they save an awful lot of lives. And I think they need more political support. And the book was really my way of trying to bring attention to them so that they could get more political support. Public health as a field grew up in this country in the 1800s, when it was a very different place, when the leading causes of death were infectious diseases like tuberculosis and cholera and yellow fever. This was the early days of the Industrial Revolution, and people were really, for the first time in human history, crowding in very large numbers in cities. And so this was a perfect breeding ground for spreads of infectious diseases. So fast forward to today, and our health problems are distinctly different. We are no longer dying in great numbers from these epidemic infectious diseases. Our killer diseases now are chronic diseases, or what people are referring to as non-communicable diseases, like heart disease and stroke and cancer and diabetes. This, by the way, is not just a problem here in New York City and not just a problem in the US, but it's a problem globally, even in developing countries. And those diseases are caused in large part by unhealthy behaviors, like smoking and unhealthy diet and physical inactivity and excess alcohol consumption. So the book is a story about things we did in particular on smoking, such as the smoke-free air rule, those hard-hitting ads that you see on television, things we did more recently in retail stores, banning discounting on cigarettes and raising the legal sales age to 21. They're about the things we did on food, such as banning trans fat in restaurants and putting those calorie counts on the menu boards of chain restaurants, and the things we did on sugary drinks. Overall, the public health work during the Bloomberg administration was a big success. Smoking rates fell by about a third. Childhood obesity rates in New York City are now falling after having risen for about 30 years. And life expectancy from 2000 to 2010 in New York City rose by 3.0 years, versus in the US as a whole, it was 1.7 years. The book sort of running through it there are three themes. First, that this was about how a health department or an organization transforms itself to a new situation. It had to reinvent itself for the new problem. It required new skills, new people, new activities. It's also about the politics of public health, about how when we wanted to save lives through prevention, we were inevitably drawn into conflict with the tobacco companies, with the retailers, and with the food companies. And it's also about how New York City became a model for public health. Many of the things we did here have spread around the country and to a certain extent around the world. My time in Bellagio was really hugely helpful in writing this. It was helpful not just in the work that I did there. This was the most productive time I spent during, it took me a year to write the book, most productive time within that year. It was also very productive in helping me think through the larger themes, figure out what really is this book about. So I hope my passion for public health comes through in the book, and more important, I hope that some people actually buy it and read this book. So thanks very much for being here tonight, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions.